Hi, I'm Willie Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. Good to be here with you all this morning. I have to, I would like to talk to you all about something that I think is kind of very important. Here on earth, we have a lot of gods. It's very important when you offer your prayers up that you pray to the one and only God. A person might ask what you mean by that when you say we have a lot of gods. Check this out now. You can praise Lord God Jesus Christ. You can praise Muhammad. You can praise Yahshua. You can praise Yahweh. You can praise Jehovah. You can praise Allah. You can praise Buddha. You can do the Hindu. You can be a 7 days Adventure. That's a religious like, but and each one of these gods that people call on, guess what they have? They have a textbook that you can use to get to that God. The same God that the Christians use would be the Holy Bible. Guess what? The Jehovah Witness, they don't use that to let you know they're not talking to the same God. Guess what though? The Quran don't use the same Bible that the Christian and the Jehovah Witness use to let you know when they offer their prayers up to Allah that they have the same instruction. So you can't get to they ain't talking about the same God. Guess what's else though? When you talk about the Hebrew God, guess what they using? A different textbook to get to their God. What I'm trying to say, we use our common sense here on earth. Ain't nobody calling on the same God. It's no impossible way a person can use a biblical book and saying that they talking to the divine living God. Because you know why? The divine living God never written a book, never sent nobody to write a book. The divine living God let us see for our own self while we here on earth. We have to look at one thing to be clear. When you use a format as these religious book here on earth, then whatever God or whatever they conjuring up, I'm gonna tell you again, and I know you don't believe me, these biblical books is witchcraft books. So what I'm saying, whatever God or whatever that they calling on or whatever they conjuring up, when that stuff gets into you, that's what you become. You have to be very careful that you don't get caught up in that. Not now person here on earth, not one person that God gave them a prescribed way to go. For God is perfect and God created us all perfect. God created us to be a human being. So once we came in being a human being, if we continue following the path that the living God done set for us in our life, while we here on earth, we introduce ourselves to them and we talk to them in our name, letting them know 100% we understand that they made us, that they created all these things, even though we know that man and women here on earth can procreate, but they can't create most of the things that God done brought in the world. So we know something is greater than man and women of the earth. We can't allow ourselves to get sucked in this religious, these biblical books that performing witchcraft before our very eyes. When we get involved in that, then you are separated from the living God, and now you dealing with the gods of the dead, because you can't go back to the living. Ain't nothing left but what human beings created here on earth, and that would be death. I'm gonna tell you something real quick, right? God is the author of life. Everything God created, it live. But God do one thing. Everything have an expiration date on it. Whenever it gonna expire. If human beings here on earth never invented things to actually what they call killing a person, if they never invented these things, guess what? If they never invented guns, then you wouldn't be able to take a gun and shoot somebody with a bullet and use their terminology is death. That was never God terminology. That's a human being terminology. If human beings did never create knife, then therefore they could never call themselves stabbing or cutting somebody, kill them, you know? Again, God never made that. Human beings created that with their weapon. If you notice something, you have military, they got all kind of weapons to do what? To destroy human beings, other human beings, just like them. God have nothing to do with that stuff. We have to understand when God is working and when human beings are working. It's just like when man created the electric chair. God had nothing to do with the electric chair. When man created lethal injection, God had nothing to do with lethal injection. When man created the crucifixion, the cross, God had nothing to do with that. We have to realize when man is doing things and when God are doing things. We can't say when somebody died in the electric chair, may God have mercy on that person's soul, because God is not taking that person. It's another human being taking that another human being's life. Why are we so blind to the fact that when humans doing something, we blame God for it? We live in a human way of life. So about us being a human being, we should try to be the best human we possibly can while we walking around, yet in the flesh. If we fall short of that, if we do something, then what we have to do, we have to offer ourselves up to the divine living God. Ask the living God to forgive us in our name. Let the living God know that it coming from us. Let the living God knowing that we did something was very bad and something that we know 100% that you don't condone. But at the same time, we want to know that that's not our heart and mind. And please, if you give us another chance, we will not follow this act anymore. My name is Willie Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. I serve the divine living God. I offer my prayers up to that. And I do it this way. I do 4 things that nobody in the world have but me. My name, that I was appointed on my date of birth. My biological birthday, that I was appointed on my date of birth. My mother's name, that I was appointed when I came into this world. And last but not least, whatever state or place that I'm at that time. Them 4 things is a code to talk to divine living God, both male and female, that nobody in the world have but the individual. It's just like nobody have my code, I don't have your code. I don't have my mama code. I don't have my brothers and sister code. They have a direct line, if they use that method, that they can offer their prayers up in their name to the living God and have a one-on-one conversation with them, both male and female. Have nothing to do with religious books here on earth. Religious books deal with the spirits of the dead. It's the Dead Sea Scrolls. Back in the old days, it was so many demonic books and stuff who were created from the Dead Sea Scrolls that The Bible came from that. And it was so demonic that they couldn't place everything in the Dead Sea Scroll into the Bible, into a biblical book, because people would be able to see it just right off the bat. So they hid it. And now everybody in the world dealing in voodoo. I'm going to show you something. The living God never wanted us to offer up anything or set up no altar for nothing. That's voodoo. That's witchcraft. That anytime you having a sacrifice, that's witchcraft. That's voodoo. It's nothing that the living God condone. The living God give us life. The living God don't want us to take something before it's time to go for us to get a blessing from it, or for that to watch us to keep us. That's not of the living God. It's of the God of the dead. So you got all these satanic spirits running around here. The Hebrewites, a satanic spirit. Yahweh, Yahshua, Jehovah, Jesus, um, 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 the 7 days evangelists, all the different Buddha, Baal, all that stuff is satanic. You have all these spirits walking around here. They got one thing is coming, and it's demonic, all of that. So if a person continue going that route, if they continue going that route, then it's impossible for them to get in contact with the living God. Hey, my name is Willie Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for allowing me to talk to you and share my findings with you. I'll come on this app tomorrow and share something with you tomorrow. Thanks. And may the living God bless you. Keep looking and searching for yourself. Don't let no man and no woman lead you astray here on earth. And I'm going to show you one more thing so you know 100% that I am telling you all the unadulterated truth, right? You got Baptist churches all over the world, spiritual churches. You got all different type of churches, and I can't name all of them. Guess what? Why, if all of them reading out the same biblical books, but all of them got a different way. You got a First Baptist churches on this side of the street and the First Baptist church on the other side, but guess what? They don't teach the same thing. Whoever over that congregation, he gonna teach something different. You got Creflo Dollar, TV Jakes, Oldestein. You got Louis Farrakhan. All those people teach something totally different. You have Malcolm X killed by the Nation of Islam. So if they say Allah was the truth, why would they kill their own? Why would they kill their own? You have to watch that kind of stuff. All that stuff that I'm talking to you about is man-made. It's man in power. It's man getting money. The only thing a man want, that power and money. When a man is over his congregation, you're not being led by God. You led by that human being over that. That's why when you had Eddie Lawrence down there in that church, he wasn't over Creflo Dollar Church. He had his own church. It's just like TV Jake. He ain't over Creflo Dollar Church and Eddie Long Church when he was living. TV Jake have his own church. He have his own member. All of them have their own member. You know why? Because everybody in those congregations is following that man. That's their God. That's their God. When that man ministered to them and they believe in that stuff, and this man telling them this is a prescribed way to go to get to your destination, they following that man. They putting all their faith into that man. You got so many people to go to them churches and stuff. You got Jen Jenkins on the app lying to the people, want to convict somebody about a witchcraft book, talking about it's the word of God. What God is? What word is it? It's the God of the dead. Tell people the truth, Jen Jenkins. It's the book of the dead. You got this dude named Corey on the Smart Christian channel preaching the Book of the Dead. It's every time you turn around, they trying to convict somebody off of a biblical book by their understanding. I'm going to show you something. The divine living God gave us all our own mind. Everybody do not think the same here on earth. But guess what, though? We got one thing in common. Everybody have the same sun when they look up in the sky and look at it. Everybody look at the same moon, the same star. Whatever created that, that's what we need to be following. Do that stuff have an instructions to get back to there? Absolutely not. But guess what? We see it with our 2020. By us seeing it, we realize it's something greater than what done created all this stuff here on earth. That's what we need to be following. And we do that by offering ourselves up, introducing ourselves to that. Hi, my name is Willie Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks, and may the living God bless you. Bye-bye.